Deputy Mayor Felix. Can we all please rise?
Let us pray. Father in heaven, as we come to you today, on this day coming into Holy Week, we think of this time where we celebrate him rising from the dead and his power, God. And today we come to you before this council meeting. And we pray, Lord, Father in heaven, we commit this meeting to you. Come and reveal your will in every aspect of this meeting. And God, as we discuss the affairs in all this meeting today, God, we ask that your will would be done. Show us your purposes. Enlighten us so that we may know how you want us to accomplish these tasks this evening. God, we desire your glory and blessing in all we do. Direct our thoughts, our words, our decisions, our actions toward the right path, and help us stay on track. Lord, let your will be done as we plan and make our decisions. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Madam Jones, roll call.
Mayor Medina,
Present.
Deputy Mayor Felix.
Here.
Councilman Johnson.
Here.
And Councilman Foster is appearing by phone.
Can we hear him?
Take it off mute? Yeah. I'm here.
All right, Councilman Foster, welcome back. Brother, there have been so many people praying for you. We are so excited of what God has done to you. Your nickname now is Miracle Council Member. Praise God.
Thank you. Thank you.
We are on agenda revisions. Madam Sherman?
Yes, thank you, Mayor.
Oh, as you were. Announcements, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. One vacancy on the Youth Advisory Board represents a large student member position. Anyone wishing to serve on this board can apply at palmbayflorida.org or call the clerk's office at 952-3414.
Is your mic on, Deputy Mayor? We got to speak. We got to get closer, right, sir? Madam Sherman, agenda revisions.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. There was one revision to announce. It is the item number 7 under consent agenda. It is the Sourcewell contract number that was a couple digits were switched, so we've just corrected that, and this is related to the tractor and slope mower cooperative purchase. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Madam Smith?
No, sir.
Madam Jones?
Yes, Mayor. As Councilman Foster is attending by phone, item number 1 under new business is no longer needed and will be withdrawn.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Go ahead.
I would like to do some revisions too.
Okay.
I would like to move public hearing item number 1, final reading, and unfinished and old business.
Where do you want to
1
move it to?
right after.
Let's go with public number 1 first.
Okay. Right after presentations.
Be that. And then unfinished business right after the public hearing number 1?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, council,
I need a motion.
council, I'll need a motion. We're going to go public hearings number 1 after presentations, and unfinished business number 1 after the public hearings number 1, before public comments. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Got him. Councilman Foster, did you second that motion? Okay.
I do.
All right. Did you want to add something, sir?
No.
All right, sir. So I got a motion by Councilman Johnson, seconded by Councilman Foster to move these items before public comments. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you. And it'll be it's a welcome sight, or actually it's welcoming to hear your voice there, Councilman Foster.
Thank you, sir.
So we are now on proclamations, and the very first one, we're gonna recognize one of our very own local individuals. So let me get down there on the deck so I could recognize the contributions of Mikey Benson. Hey, team members, you're gonna leave your coach up here by himself? It is truly an honor and blessing for me to recognize one of our local young men. Listen, he knows me when I was really young, but I had the blessing and honor to coach this young man, and he's grown up to be a fine spectacle of a human being. Look at this guy. What a specimen, huh? So it is hereby recognized by the mayor of the city of Palm Bay, the greatest city on the face of the earth, Brevard County, Florida, whereas Michael Benson attended Discovery Elementary School, Central Middle School, and is a 2005 graduate of Bayside High School and a member of the Bears Hall of Fame for football. For 8 years, he was also a team member at Palm Bay Youth Athletic Association. Those are the days I remember most. Whereas Michael's arena football career spans, I skipped one. Whereas after high school, Michael attended Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University, also known as FAMU, in Tallahassee, where he was a 4-year football starter and started as a first baseman in his senior year for the baseball team. Now, a baseball and football star. This was our local Bo Jackson. Whereas Michael's arena football career spans 9 years to include the following commendations: 2-time Arena Bowl champion, 5-time Arena All-Arena team, 2 times on the all-time career rushing yards list, and 3 times on the all-time career touchdown list. And whereas during his career, Michael played on the following teams: the Milwaukee Mustangs, the Georgia Force, the Orlando Predators, the San Antonio Talons, Arizona Rattlers, and Philadelphia Soul, and the Albany Empire. Now, therefore, I, Rob Medina, mayor of the city of Palm Bay, by virtue of the authority of said office, do hereby recognize and commend Michael Benson as a local Palm Bayer who returned to his hometown to coach and mentor our youth at Heritage High in Palm Bay. You see, there's something that's got to be said about a local boy coming back to give back to our community, and that's how I see Mikey Benson, man. I'm so proud of you. So proud of you. In witness hereof, I have set my hand and caused the seal of the city of Palm Bay to be affixed this 6th day of April 2023. Congratulations, Michael.
Man, I appreciate it so much. When he was reading it, it was surreal to me because I didn't play the game for all that. I played the game because I loved it. I grew up here. Coach Medina was my coach from down when I was 5 years old to 10 years old, and we were doing push-ups, 100 push-ups in practice for our warm-up. That's what we did. I couldn't have done it without my support, my father up here, my wife, my kids, my brother. That's where it all started. Watching my brother play, watching my dad coach. There's something about Brevard. I don't know if you guys I've been paying attention to sports lately, but there's a lot of Brevard kids that are in the upper levels: baseball, football, whatever it is, golf. We got Horschel from Bayside that's in golf. There's a lot of kids that are making it from this area and not really being known. And I always was, as myself, I always like, oh, they're not gonna recognize me. I didn't do much because I didn't go to the NFL. But after it sat in after I played about 6 years, I realized this was my NFL. The AFL was my NFL, and I treated it like that. After it sunk into me where I wasn't going to go to the NFL, which I was fine with. Once I got in the AFL, I told myself I wanted to be the best, I wanted to dominate, and I wanted to make a name for myself, and that's what I did. Me and my family were up in New York for the last 3 years for my career. We were settled there, and I wanted to start coaching. Now, I was already coaching. Every all season I was coming back, and I was coaching. I was at Bayside for almost 4 or 5 years there, coaching, going back and forth. But once I retired and I was like, okay, I want to get into it. I want to be a head coach. I begged my wife to come back home because she's originally from New Jersey, and we were up north where she was comfortable at. We were all comfortable, but we had to come home. And I wanted to come home to these group of guys. I have a great group of guys at Heritage High School. I'm 65 strong right now in the spring, and that's almost unheard of in the spring ball. That's with baseball, track, and AAU basketball going on. I have consistently 65 kids showing up each and every day, busting their tails. And I'm grateful to be a leader of this group here, and I have a great staff that's with me. And I encourage anybody that has a business out there. We are still trying to do some fundraising out there to get some more stuff. This is my first year here, and we're trying to get all the bells and whistles so these guys can get treated like they're in college. That's how I treat them. They can probably tell you right now they've done 545 workouts, and we're at the end of April, we're doing it for a week straight. You know, that if they want to play college ball and they want to go to the college level, they got to learn how to wake up in the morning, work out, practice, go to school, and do it all over again. And that's what I'm trying to preach, and that's what I'm trying to teach these young men to carry themselves as men and represent their shirt, what they have on their shirt. I'm excited. I appreciate this. It's more, I'm overwhelmed with emotions right now because honestly, I never thought that anybody would recognize me for what I've done. And I appreciate it. And I appreciate the city of Palm Bay. I appreciate Palm Bay. I just appreciate everybody and all the love. Thank you.
We're going to take a picture, but listen, I don't want to take away from the fact that here's a young man that left New York to come here to give back to our local community. And the fruit thereof we're going to benefit from, because look at these young men behind them. This is what it's about, giving back to our community. Thanks, guys. Have a great season. Appreciate it. Thank you. So I'm going to call up Chairman Snyder. Are you here? Come on up, Chairman. Councilman, come on down. Say again? Bring your board members up. Bring your board members up.
Anybody else?
Deputy Mayor? This is Sustainability Awareness Month. First of all, let me start by saying and commend this sustainability board that we have. These guys, yes, come on. They give of their time and efforts for each and every one of us. It is hereby proclaimed by the mayor of the greatest city on the face of the earth, Palm Bay, Brevard County, Florida. Whereas the city of Palm Bay participates in many activities throughout the year, and particularly during the month of April, activities that are focused on environmental stewardship and our desire to continue to the future well-being of our community. Whereas Earth Day, first held in 1970, many of us weren't even born then, right? Whereas Earth Day, first held in 1970, will be recognized this year on April 22nd. With the theme, Invest in Our Planet, the city recognizes we all have an obligation to care for and protect the earth for future generations. And whereas every year the city participates in the annual Keep Brevard Beautiful Trash Bash event, with this year's event being held on April 1st, with the theme, Love Where You Live. The city will host six different trash picking up sites. And whereas each year the City of Palm Bay Utilities Department celebrates Water Conservation Month in April and promotes activities to raise awareness. We're going to talk about that in the next resolution. Whereas the City of Palm Bay Sustainability Advisory Board is partnering with city staff to host the first annual Sustainability Fair on April 15th. From 4 to 7, so we expect you all to be here. The public is welcome to attend. There will be food vendors, eco vendors, and free rain barrel workshops with pre-registration, a free bounce house, face painting, sustainability demonstration, games, and more. These free items remind me of another event we do during Christmas time where we really say it's FREE, and I guess we'll hear about that later. Now, therefore, I, Rob Medina, Mayor of the City of Palm Bay, by virtue of the authority of said office, do hereby proclaim April 2023 as Sustainability Month, and the City of Palm Bay and all its citizens, and urge all its citizens to celebrate in Palm Bay's first annual Sustainability Fair event at City Hall. When is it? Saturday, April 15th from 4 to 7 p.m. and to support efforts to protect our environment, promote sustainability for our city both now and in the future. In witness hereof, I have set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Palm Bay to be affixed this 6th day of April 2023. Come on up, Chairman Snyder. Thank you.
so much. You know, Palm Bay is the greatest city on earth. I've actually been a resident of Palm Bay since my birth, and so been here since 31 years, and I am incredibly indebted to and grateful for our city council, for Ms. Sherman and our staff. We've made huge gains already in the last year, 2 years, moving towards a more sustainable future, because you can probably hear one of my kids in the back, and I want to make sure that when they stay in Palm Bay, when they put down roots, that this is a place that takes care of them, my grandchildren, and my great-grandchildren. Thank you so much for your support. April 15th. April 15th. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Come on over here. Where's council? Oh, So we're gonna ask, is Brooklyn in the house? Brooklyn, come on in. You know I had to say that, right? Is Brooklyn in the house? Come on, man. This is Water Conservation Month. It is hereby proclaimed by the mayor of the city of Palm Bay, whereas water is our most valuable natural resource. And whereas clean, safe, and reliable water resources and supplies are vital to the city of Palm Bay's economy and environment and its people. Whereas the state of Florida, water management districts, and the Palm Bay Utilities Department are working together to increase awareness about the importance of water conservation. Whereas the city of Palm Bay and the state of Florida have designated April, typically a dry month when water demands are most acute, as Water Conservation Month to educate citizens about saving water resources. And whereas each citizen of our city is called upon to help protect our source waters from pollution, to practice water conservation, and to get involved in local water issues by getting to know their water utility. Every business, industry, school, and citizen can make a difference when it comes to conserving water. Whereas the Palm Bay Utilities Department is committed to setting a good example for its citizens regarding water conservation and has always encouraged and supported water conservation through various educational programs and special events. And whereas leak prevention is commonly thought to be the first step in conserving water, the Palm Bay Utilities Department will encourage its citizens and businesses to focus on fixing leaks. Now, therefore, I, Rob Medina, mayor of the greatest city on the face of the earth. Yeah, you're going to keep hearing that because it's going to happen. That's right. That's right. By virtue of the authority of said office, do hereby proclaim the month of April 2023 as Water Conservation Month and call upon each citizen and business of Palm Bay for this, the 25th year of Water Conservation Month, to help protect our most precious resource by practicing water-saving measures, checking for leaks, and becoming more aware of the need to save water. In witness hereof, I've set my hand and caused the seal of the city of Palm Bay to be affixed this 6th day of April 2023. Ms. Brooklyn, come on up. I believe you have a presentation.
I do. I have a bit of. Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone, and happy Water Conservation Month to you all. Mayor Medina, Deputy Mayor Felix, Councilman Johnson, and Councilman Foster, if you can hear me. On behalf of myself, our department's director, Christopher Little, our assistant director, Dan Worrell, who's right behind me there, our division managers, Deshaun Davis and Michelle Toms, as well as Lisa Flores, our administrative coordinator here. We want to thank you all for recognizing this very significant month. As Mayor Medina said, my name is Brooklyn Dawson. I'm the Community Outreach Coordinator with the Palm Bay Utilities Department. And I'm responsible for educating our community on the importance of water. Living in Palm Bay and constantly being surrounded by large bodies of water, it's easy for us to forget the value of the clean and fresh tap water that we get when we turn on the tap. But take a moment to think about what would happen if you couldn't turn on the faucet and get that clean drinking water. If you couldn't flush the toilet and that wastewater didn't go anywhere, what would that be like for you? How would your day begin if you couldn't make that morning cup of coffee? How would everybody else's day be if you couldn't make a cup of coffee? Mothers wouldn't be able to mix formula for their babies, to feed them and nurture them. Churches wouldn't be able to baptize in the traditional ways for their congregations. Water parks would completely cease to exist altogether. And what would our firefighters do? What would our hospitals, B, without sanitary water, or without wastewater services. Farmers would not be able to water their crops or care for their livestock. Manufacturing plants that require vast amount of water would have to shut down completely. We take for granted that we do not have to ask those questions every day. The truth is, the world's water infrastructure is aging and it is failing. Stories of communities with neglected infrastructure and compromised drinking water sources are in the news every day. Rainfalls can flood rivers with pollution. Record high temperatures cause toxic algae blooms, making critical source water undrinkable. And in parts of our state, drought and wildfires even threaten essential water supplies for communities and farmers. Water can become polluted very easily from spills, runoff, faulty equipment, and plain old lack of preparation. But here in our city, the greatest city on the face of the earth, the Palm Bay Utilities Department work extensively to meet all environmental standards and regulation for clean water. We work hard to maintain our critical infrastructure and proactively prepare for dry months, drought, natural disasters, so that our citizens never have to go without clean drinking water. We upgrade our systems before they break, and we perform routine maintenance to ensure that the city of Palm Bay's drinking water remains unthreatened. Safe, reliable, quality drinking water is our job, and we are dedicated to providing that to our city. An example of our department's proactive maintenance is actually currently a free chlorine conversion that we began yesterday in our system. A free chlorine conversion is when a system that typically uses chloramines for disinfection switches that disinfection method to free chlorine. This is a temporary conversion, and it allows our department to cleanse our distribution system. Switches in disinfectants are a well-known industry standard for utilities, particularly utilities in warm climates such as Florida. The water will in fact remain safe to drink throughout this free chlorine conversion process. And if any citizens have any questions throughout this process, I do have some infographics at our table back here in the corner, so please feel free to stop by and get those. Our website has a fantastic customer portal with a list of FAQs and resources regarding the conversion. If you have additional questions that reach past that, you can always reach out to our customer care team at 321-952-3420 or by email at water@pbfl.org. Everything and everyone in the world is dependent upon water to live. Water has the power to protect and save lives. And therefore, our department would like to challenge you to practice water conservation in your daily routines. You can do things like cut your shower times in half, turn off the faucet as you brush your teeth or lather your hands with soap, check your toilets and sinks for things like leaks, limit recreational water use for your children's toys, and by following lawn irrigation restrictions that are available to you on our website at pbud.org. Saving water could not be more simple, and we offer our customers free conservation kits to make things even more accessible. Both adult and kiddo-friendly versions containing various materials and resources to help you conserve water daily are available while supplies last at our customer care office located here at City Hall. For those of you that are here with us tonight, I do have some kits over at our tables. Like I said, stop by. In addition to these kits, we do offer our website with an array of content to educate our community about water conservation benefits. And throughout Conservation Month, we offer a wide range of community engagement and events in which community members and their families can participate. In collaboration with Parks and Recreation, the City Manager's Office, and the Sustainability Advisory Board, next week we will present the first annual Sustainability Fair here at City Hall on April 15th, 4 to 7. We hope to see you all there. Free rain barrel workshop with pre-registration, eco vendors, free mobile library, free bounce house, free face painting, free sustainable demonstrations, arts and crafts, games, giveaways, free cone ice. Palm Bay students can enter into a drawing to win a lunch and learn conservation pizza party for their classroom, and much, much more. A great deal of work has gone into this preparation by staff and into planning the event, so you do not want to miss it. I hope to see you all there. Starting early education on these topics is undoubtedly something our department recognizes. We've created a curriculum that parallels the Environmental Protection Agency's WaterSense program, A Day in the Life of a Drop. It features Dr. Seuss's The Lorax. Sadly, this is our department's last year with Dr. Seuss's The Lorax, but we do have a new friendly face coming to utilities very soon, so be on the lookout for that exciting announcement. As always, we'll continue to have many resources for our community's teachers, grades K through 12. And if you're an educator and would like to have your classroom participate or involve, please contact me directly at outreach@pbfl.org. I would absolutely love to connect with you. At this time, I want to take a moment to recognize our department's employees. To our field service team, our distribution, collections, water plant, and wastewater plant employees, you are the true face of our department. Every time you jump into a water-filled hole with no bottom in sight, and each time you place your health on the line by pumping waste and debris out of our system, each time you clock in the middle of a hurricane to make sure that operations continue, we want to thank you. The strength of your backs, the sweat off your brows, and the dedication to our community is what we've all come to rely on, and that truly makes you professionals and pillars in our community. So please join me in applauding utility staff. So at this time, with the mayor's approval, I'd like to kickstart Sustainability and Conservation Month by giving out some well-earned awards to 5 extraordinary young guests in our community that are here with us tonight. Every year, the American Water Works Association sponsors the Drop Savers Water Conservation Poster Contest. This contest gives students from kindergarten to high school the opportunity to design and submit a poster about water conservation. The winning entries that you will see here tonight were actually introduced to the AWWA and will move on to statewide judging. This year, all participants in Palm Bay will be receiving a personalized certificate of participation. Our division winners will receive a certificate, trophy, and a $50 gift card. And our first place overall winner tonight will receive a certificate, award, gift card, and a 180-piece mixed media art set, complete with a French easel and supply of blank canvases so they can continue to create beautiful art. So I present to you, without further ado, the 2023 Drop Savers winners. All right, and in first place this evening, our Division I winner is Amira Dumont. Amira? Give her another round of applause. That's hard to do. All right, next up, our Division II first place winner is Francesca Puebla. All right, our next winner tonight, continuing this girl power kind of vibe, our Division III first place winner is Araya Irwin. Lots to hold, lots to hold. All right, next up, our Division IV first place winner is Isabella Lopez. All right, and last but certainly not least, our first place Division V winner and our first place division winner overall this year for the Palm Bay Utilities Department. She unfortunately could not make it with us here tonight because she had to work, so I think that that counts as a big round of applause for her. But here we have Division 5 first place winner. We have Lee Ann Rupp. Lee Ann Rupp. Lee Ann, yes. So her art teacher is actually here tonight. Would you like to accept her award on her behalf? Perfect. This is Miss Catherine Woodward at Palm Bay Magnet High. Congratulations. Wonderful. You get all the things. All right, these students' original artworks will actually be on display here at the customer service office throughout the month of April. So certainly if you're in the area, stop by and take a look at them. They're really quite extraordinary in person. Special thank you goes out to our community educators, Ms. Cheryl Johnson of Sunrise Elementary. Miss Lynn Newton of Odyssey Preparatory Academy. Barbara Miller of Palm Bay Elementary School. Miss Karina Riley of Odyssey Junior Senior High. And of course, Miss Catherine Woodward of Palm Bay Magnet High School. We want to thank you all for coordinating the participation of your students in your schools this year and for allowing them to participate. We could not have done it without you. So on behalf of the entire utilities department, thank you for being water smart. Happy Conservation Month, and I look forward to seeing you all at the Sustainability Fair.
Okay, gentlemen, we are now on presentations. So I'm going to defer to Madam Sherman.
Thank you, Mayor. Do you want me to wait till the room is cleared, or?
Yeah, I'd wait. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we're conducting a meeting. Okay, carry on.
Okay, thank you, sir. Yes, so I'd like to bring up Pastor Ken Delgado of the House Church, who is here to honor the city of Palm Bay for its partnership with the 2022 Family Christmas Extravaganza event.
Council members, mayor, city manager, people, Palm Bay, the greatest city on this earth. I'd like to show a video first before I say something.
Family Christmas Extravaganza, the largest free Christmas party on the Space Coast. This is a 100% free community event featuring live entertainment, popcorn, cotton candy, hot dogs, and drinks. Free activities include bounce houses, rock climbing, train rides, horse riding, face painting, giveaways, and so much more. Register to volunteer at thefamilychristmasextravaganza.com. Be a part of someone's Merry Christmas this year.
This is the greatest Christmas party on the Space Coast perhaps maybe even in Florida. I never know, but it sounds good to me. But this is a time when churches, ministries, the businesses that serve their community, or you could say it this way, the businesses that the people serve to them, and businesses give back to those people. The residents of Palm Bay and the greatest city on the face of the earth, the city of Palm Bay, all joined together for one reason and one reason only: to celebrate life, to celebrate people, to celebrate Christmas for what it stands for, coming together and giving a free party to the citizens of Palm Bay. And from what I understand now, including citizens from Orlando, Kissimmee, and even down into Indian River County. Who would ever guessed that from the beginning, when we started a small one in the back of our church, would end up being what it is today. That being said, having the city of Palm Bay be one of the sponsors is a great honor and a privilege, and we're ever so thankful. We're thankful for what you do and how you help make it all happen. Who knows, maybe even the sustainability fair that offers water barrels, instructions on how to do it, can also join and celebrate a little pavilion right there at the Christmas extravaganza. It's all there. It's all for the people. At the same time, I'd like to encourage the businesses of Palm Bay. If you are listening today, I'd like to remind you that it is the citizens of Palm Bay that actually make your business run. And there should be a time when an expression of thanks is given in a very tangible way. And we do this by supporting the Christmas extravaganza so that it can always be FREE free. At the same time, I would say this would never be possible without three very important components of the city of Palm Bay. The Parks and Recreational Department that do so much to make it happen. The Police Department that offer protection and make sure that we have a safe time. And then the Fire Department, which equally makes sure that we have a safe event. These three departments are part of the greater department of the Palm Bay at large. But we've decided some years ago that we can't help but be thankful for what they do as they serve our community. They're also servants, and they serve the community every year faithfully. And we hear so many great reports. And for that reason, we've always decided to say thank you to them in a tangible way. And interestingly enough, it doesn't take taxes to make it happen. It's a heart of thanksgiving that causes people to open up their hearts and to give. And we are thankful for these three departments. And so today we're happy to announce that we have actually been able, through the donations that have come, side note, nobody gets a payroll check out of this event. It all goes towards the community. There's no administrative fee. It all goes towards the community. But as I said, we're happy to say that we're able to increase our giving to each department. And this year, we're happy to give $1,500 to each department for the use as their discretion, what they feel like is most needed. And so with that, I would like to have maybe perhaps the representative of each department to come up that I could present this as the pastor of the house and all the ministries that is represented. I think there were like 11 churches that joined together for this great event. We invite churches to be part of it too. It's not a house event, it's the church event. And the church joins together to make it happen. So could we have these?
Yeah, so our fire chief, Leslie Hogue, is not here tonight, but we'll have our police chief, Mario Agello, come up and accept both police and fire. And Greg Miner, who is our Parks and Facilities Director, is not here tonight, but I will ask Fred Poppy, our Recreation Director, to come up and accept that as well.
And that's very appropriate, as Fred Poppy also made it possible when we first started. And so we're thankful for him. Amen. And then we'll just forgive the fire department. You know, we'll just love them anyway, just cause. But again, thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for your partnership, Pastor Kenny. Really appreciate everything you do on behalf of our community.
I had a couple more minutes.
Yeah,
Mayor, thank you. Thank you for your support. Before you were mayor, you were leading the charge. You brought it to what it is today. And so now it's just a double blessing to see that not only have you helped make it happen, but now that you're an integral part in more than one way. Thank you. And thank the Dias too for all they're doing.
Thank you, sir. So now during agenda revisions, we moved public hearing number 1 to before public comments. So we'll begin with Madam Smith.
Ordinance 2023-10, an ordinance of the City of Palm Bay, Brevard County, Florida, amending the Code of Ordinances, Title 5, Legislative, Chapter 50, Elections, Subchapter Filling of Vacancies, by modifying provisions contained therein pursuant to the Palm Bay City Charter, providing for the repeal of ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for inclusion in the City of Palm Bay Code of Ordinances, providing for a severability clause, providing for an effective date.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm going to open up the public hearing. And Madam Jones.
Yes, this is just the final reading regarding the filling of vacancies for the city council, and I'm here to answer any questions.
Council, any questions?
I'm here.
So, Madam Jones, I looked at this, right? And my question is more on the basis of, when it comes to the mayor's part, it's a little different, because if the mayor is not available, the deputy mayor steps in during that time.
Correct.
And so, and I think the mayor's role is totally different than the council. So in my eyes, it's a little different. Is there any way we could add to make sure that the mayor's is extended beyond the 60 days? Or just say the mayor's different, because people elect the mayor beyond city council. He's the face of the city. So I see like it's a little different. Is there any way to add that, or is it too late to do that?
I would have to defer to our legal counsel.
The time frame isn't something that council, you all are creating the procedures, but the time frame is what we have in the charter. I'm not mistaken. Let me pull it up. But certainly I would advise, if we, especially since the mayor is presently here and we're not filling the mayor's spot, I would advise council, and we're coming upon our deadline, to approve this. And certainly if you all want to revise it in the future to the extent that the revisions are permissible, we would have time, but you all are coming upon your 60 days rather quickly. I know we have the next meeting, and there really isn't time. Well, not there. There really isn't. There is not time for you all to have another reading. But give me 1 second to pull this up. Yes, 3.062. The actual 60 days is in the charter, so that is not something that you all are going to be able to set up a different time. That's what the voters approved.
I just think it's a little different if you think about it. I mean, I understand the time frame, council, but you know, as you're aware, most people would see the mayor in a different light than regular council. I hope, I'm not saying anything that is not being asked by the public, but I know that they see us in a different capacity. The mayor happens to be the face of the city in that regard. Just as the deputy mayor, if the mayor goes down, the deputy mayor fills in that spot. And so those 60 days, the deputy mayor could fill that even throughout, right? Whoever's selected deputy mayor. So I think there's a difference. I understand the time frame of it though. But at any point, thank you, ma'am. I appreciate your comments. So at this point, is there anyone that wishes to speak for or against this item? Seeing none, I'm going to close the public hearing and ask for a motion.
Motion to approve ordinance 2023-10.
Second.
I got a motion by Deputy Mayor Felix, seconded by Councilman Johnson. I'm going to give Councilman Foster, who's on the line, an opportunity to weigh in at this point. Councilman Foster.
Yes, Mayor.
Yes, sir. Do you have anything to add, sir?
Just follow the charter.
Okay, thank you.
Mayor, I'm a little weak. I'm very weak, so my voice is not as strong, and my body is not as strong. So I'm very weak.
Copy that, sir. That's why we moved everything up, sir. And I thank God for you. I thank God that He has worked His miracle in your life. All right, I'm going to call the question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed signify by saying nay. Nay. Passes 3-1. We are now on new unfinished business number 1. Deputy Mayor?
Thank you, Mayor. The report
In the mic.
the tabulation has been completed, Mayor, and I'd like to make a motion.
What are the rankings?
You're saying the score?
Okay, you're
scoring
gonna
or
make
the name?
you're gonna make the
I'm
motion of
making
the
the
okay.
motion
Okay.
just by the names and
How they're ranked?
should they rank? Yeah, I can.
Okay, yeah.
Making a motion to accept the following candidates, applicants for seat 5 in this order. Mr. Aaron Parr, K. Mirage, Michael Jaffe, Phil Moore, William Capote. Those are the 5 finalists. The motion is to accept those 5 individuals as the final 5 for consideration of seat 5.
Second for discussion.
I got a motion by Deputy Mayor Johnson, seconded by Councilman Johnson. Deputy Mayor, you made the motion?
Mayor, what I'd like to add is to, number one, congratulate those individuals. Those 5 individuals, congratulations. I'd like to say out of 33, it was not an easy task for me individually. I'm sure my colleagues would agree with this statement. But more importantly, what I'm encouraged by is seeing 33 candidates for 1 seat. What that tells me that there's hope, there's engagement. Folks cares about the great city of Palm Bay, and I would certainly encourage those that may not be selected, which the 32, please stay engaged. The opportunity is there to serve at different capacity. I certainly appreciate you throwing your name in the hat, and I'm very encouraged by seeing that number of interest in that seat. Mayor, that would conclude my.
Thank you. You made this. You seconded the motion.
I was just going to ask for the tally of the 5.
Oh.
the numbers.
Yeah, I guess that's what he wants to.
Mr. Parr came on top at 16,
What?
16 points,
16.
follows by Miss Mirage, 34. 43, Mr. Jaffe, Mike Jaffe. I'm sorry. Phil Moore. Phil Moore is number 40. Mike Jaffe, 43. I'm sorry, I apologize. So it's the order the sheets are, it's not ranked by number. Let me go back. Aaron Parr, 16. Miss K. Mirage, 34. Phil Moore and William Capote tie 40. And Michael Jaffe, 43.
Does that satisfy? Are you good? Okay, first I'd like to share, you're absolutely right, 33 applications. That is an outstanding number. So thank you, each and every one of you, for applying for this council. It does speak volumes of your willingness to engage. So let me say, continue to engage with our city. I really appreciate everyone's effort towards this application process. I'd also like to say that my goal was to try and meet with several people on the 30th. And as most of you know, I'm a man of prayer, and something came and was so unsettling. So I didn't meet with anyone, but I promise you that I looked over each and every application before I ranked it. And I want to share with you that everyone was on the same level, the same playing field, and what I thought would be a better fit for this city. So whenever the numbers come out, you'll see how I ranked everyone. There was a logic to certain things on how I ranked, but I do want to extend an apology to everyone that wanted to meet with me on Friday the 30th. And I wanted to do this sooner, but I couldn't. It was an unsettling time for me. And in that, I always listen to the guidance of the man upstairs. For those of you that believe in any other spiritual being, my true living God is the one that dictates in my life. So I went with that. And that being said, I feel comfortable that I didn't wish to meet with people, or at least I wanted to meet, but I was corrected by the man upstairs. So that being said, I've got a motion to accept the 5 candidates, seconded by Councilman Johnson. Is there anything you wish to add, Councilman Foster?
No, not at this time.
Thank you. So I'm calling the question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay. Passes 3-1. Congratulations to the top 5 candidates. Okay, we are now on public comments. Deputy Mayor or Councilman Foster, just let us know when you feel that you need your strength up, and we'll excuse you. Okay, Councilman Foster, God bless you, buddy. Have the city attorney make that comment, or the clerk.
Sorry about that. It will be next Thursday, April 13th at 6 p.m.
Next Thursday, April 16th. 13th. Or as you were, 13th. So now we're on public comments.
Yes, Mayor. Mr. Bill Batten. Followed by Philip Corcoran.
Bill Batten, 586 Ocean Spray Street, Southwest. This is a hard one. Rose Marie Saavedra works at the city clerk's office. She's done that for a long time. 19 years plus. Rosemarie has always been receptive to my call, even when I was agitated. Rosemarie always had a good attitude. Rosemarie always has been beneficial when I asked her for advice. She even helped me realign my moral compass. She tried to keep me pointed in that northern direction. 19 years plus. That's how long she's been at that desk. And she's one of the people that has impacted on me greatly. I just wanted to call her out to be a poop head in her face, because that's the type of person I am. Rosemarie, enjoy your retirement and time with your family. This is a big loss to the city of Palm Bay. Good luck, Rosemarie.
God bless Rosemarie.
Philip Corcoran, 1878 Winbrook Drive. Thank you again for hearing me tonight. So as we try to unravel the problems that we have up at the compound, the former golf course is becoming another problem. It seems to be a playground for ATVs, four-wheel drive trucks, dirt bikes, side-by-sides, you name it. This is all activity on these pictures that happened this weekend. I don't know, Deputy Mayor Felix, if you've seen anybody at your end of the golf course, but there's a lot of activity down at our end. There's been, it's kind of hard to see some of these pictures. Those are pictures of four-wheel drive trucks doing donuts in the sand traps on the second hole. They drive typically very fast and somewhat dangerously. So these pictures are kind of blurry and it's kind of hard to get them, but that was an ATV and a dirt bike on the driving range. And on the fifth hole, another dirt bike. So we have some impacts to quality of life in the Bayside Lakes. Homeowners living close to the former golf course property should not be burdened with noise and dust from the unauthorized vehicles using the land. This also exposes the property to potential erosion, which could cause clogging of the storm water control pipes and culverts. Risk of flooding is increased. Security of homes in the gated communities surrounding the property is threatened when all unauthorized access to the former golf course property is tolerated. We would like to recommend that the owner secure the property either with fencing or install some fencing, or have the property patrolled 24 hours a day to prevent trespassing and unauthorized activities. Thank you.
Thank you.
To Alfred Agari. That's for Ken Delgado.
Good evening, Council, Mr. Mayor. Alfred Agari, 1680 Main Street, Northeast Palm Bay. I had mentioned in the last meeting about the signs on US 1 for the city of Palm Bay. I must say we have two main entrances into our city, and that's US 1, north and south, and 95 exit Palm Bay Road and Malabar Road. And, first approach is important. And I don't know, if any other council member, Mr. Mayor, or some authority from the city had driven north, on the north side of Palm Bay, over by Melbourne side. I'm very concerned that there's quite a few things over there that is not really representing our city in an appropriate way, The other thing is, this property that was sold by Turkey Creek, Pelican Harbor, that property was sold, like for $500,000 less than what it actually worth. And I thought we would have something, going on over there, at least that location should be developed or start developing from now. I don't know what's holding up that development, because we were promised that we're going to have a bunch of, nightlife and, fishing area, that kind of thing going on over there. I invest a lot over that side, and I would really love to see something going on, on that city approach. It's such a great pleasure to see our local sport personnel came back in the city, Mr. Michael Bryan there, and he did a good job by supporting that soccer team, not soccer, but the American football team in Heritage. And I am here to make a suggestion. I already talked to him, but I'll contribute or donate to that playground. 2 weeks ago, I had donated a load of white sand to that Bayside High School football team also. They put in one of those sand pits for the training. So I told him that I'll jump in and help something over by Heritage. So it's all right. So good to see you guys.
Thank you. Thank you for your contribution, sir. Really appreciate that.
Yeah.
In the Marine Corps, we called it going to the beach. Yeah. Doing mountain climbers on those sand pits.
Yeah, they did one in Bayside a couple of weeks ago, and I donated a load of sand over there.
Thank you.
I'll do the same for them.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Good night.
Thank you. Hey, ma'am, I remember about the signs on US 1. Any progress on that while we're on that topic?
I believe staff is working on all the locations that had signs originally, whether it was CRA or city welcome signs, and that's part of our master plan to update all the signs. So it's still in progress.
Thank you, ma'am. Pastor Ken?
Ken Delgado, 154 Angelo Road, Southeast Palm Bay, Florida, as I put on my pastoral hat for a minute. This is Easter week, which all over the world is being celebrated by billions of people. I thought it'd be convenient and maybe profitable to bring my personal beliefs here. Back when God made it male and female, he made them in God's image and in his likeness. And for that reason, I can say you all look real good. You can say that to each other too. You're looking good. But he said, I give them dominion over the fish of the sea, the birds of heaven, and over every living thing that moves on the earth. I've given you every plant, every tree, every beast, everything. He gave the world to mankind. Mankind then thought it beneficial for them to go a different direction. The earth was theirs to do as they wished, and they decided to follow a different voice. They decided to follow a different spiritual being. And because they made the error of taking the God of love out of the picture, from one generation to the next generation, it went from perfect love to perfect hate and murder. Just one generation. That's what happens when we remove God out of the picture. The story of Jesus is really God's answer so that mankind can make a U-turn and come back to the God of love. The God of love decided to fix the problem by taking on himself the errors of mankind. And on the cross, he paid for it. But that was just half the story. The other half of the story is 3 days later, he resurrected. And because he resurrected, it is said that he defeated death, hell, and the grave. This is important because if he had not resurrected, then in essence, what it would be saying is that sin had not been fixed. Sin had not been removed. Sin had not been taken care of. The reality that he was raised from the dead and the tomb is still empty gives proof to the fact that there is hope for mankind because he is the hope of the world. And so as we're celebrating Easter at this time, we're celebrating the reality that just as he changed my life and took me from ruining my family to fixing it, from imminent divorce to restoration, and now celebrating going on 49 years. Next year will be 50. This is what the God of love can do, and this is why we celebrate Jesus Christ, to bring hope for the world, forgiveness, and love. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Marie Parkman. Robert Stice. Miss Terry Rice.
Mrs. Stice, you're after her. You're after her.
See, Mr. Stice.
Murray Corcoran, Winbrook Drive, Palm Bay. Good evening, gentlemen. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you tonight about the recently submitted comprehensive plan, specifically the portion that relates to housing, the housing element, which you approved unanimously on March 2nd. This represented the first reading. The state of Florida Department of Economic Opportunity is currently reviewing those submissions, and following their review, I understand it'll come back to you for a second reading. I was here for the comprehensive plan workshop on November 30th. We all agreed that there were serious challenges related to affordable housing. We think a good effort was made to address those issues. That many of us in the workshop were concerned about Palm Bay's lack of housing opportunities to STEM individuals working in Brevard County's growing aerospace industry. This one wasn't addressed. We heard from some citizens in the audience that Palm Bay has virtually run out of rural single-family property. And our mayor, to his credit, has mentioned several times our city could really do well if we had residential offerings available with 1-acre lots. I agree with that. This could be a real game changer. The comprehensive plan as submitted to the state didn't even mention that, and I was surprised. We have the opportunity to correct this by expanding our diversity of housing policy on page 1 as we prepare for the second reading. In any event, I'd like to see STEM housing seriously considered when the city moves forward to amend the Land Development Code, which must be done within a year of the comprehensive plan final approval. We need to be very careful when listening to consultants who don't have a stake in this city. Thank you.
Thank you.
Robert Stice, 1796 Winbrook Drive. You guys have a new hire in front of you have to make. And I remember, Mayor, I think it was the last meeting or the one before, that you had indicated that you, the body, are employees of the people of Palm Bay. We are the employers. That is correct, sir. One of the things you did mention, Mayor, was that you wanted somebody who had been with Palm Bay long term. And that just struck me when you said that. Because when I went to boot camp, and maybe you, when you went to boot camp, it didn't take me very long to be committed, to be diverse, to be a person of integrity, and to care about my fellow shipmates and my buddies. So I hope that's not really a primary consideration. A long resident doesn't mean that the individual has what you need. It's got to be diverse. What is diversity today? There's so many different definitions, but what I see before me are people of faith, as I am. But I see Democrat, Republicans, and sir, many times you voted as an independent. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Let's focus on somebody who doesn't think like you do, somebody who's out of the box, somebody that this gentleman steps out of the box, and I'm singling him out because I can. But what's good for the city? What's good for the folks? What's good for Palm Bay? You know, it's okay to have an independent up there as well. So long term in this case doesn't matter. I've seen people that I've hired with total dedication and integrity and everything else that you need coming right out of the chute. So let's get our ideologies out of the way and focus on what do we want to accomplish? How do we go forward, please? So that would be my question. I don't know any of these gentlemen, but I hope that when you were before the Lord and gave this prayer, that he would come and give you all discernment in this particular case. So thank you very much for that, and I'm praying you make the right choice.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Miss Terry Rice, I believe she was. She's in.
Hi, everyone. Well, I wasn't planning on speaking tonight, but then in the mail, I got a bill from FP&L, and I got my bill from Spectrum, and they've doubled in price. And I live in a complex that only Spectrum can go in there. AT&T has a fiber optic post about 1,000 feet away from us, but they won't hook it up. So the only one that we have to deal with is Spectrum. So because of this, I called Spectrum, got no good response whatsoever. So I filed a report with FCC because they have these massive programs of helping out 65-year-olds and all this other stuff, but I don't qualify because I make too much money. But if I quit my job tomorrow, I can go on Social Security and get all the programs that I want. I don't want to quit my job because I help patients, and Spectrum could care less. So I'm sorry, I'm getting very emotional right now. Second part, we have bus stops throughout Palm Bay. Last year, March 21st, my grandson was hit by a truck at his bus stop. The truck said that they didn't see him. I just drove by his bus stop. It is full of branches and limbs and everything like that. You're not going to see the kids. I'm sorry. We got to do something about fixing these bus stops and making them safe for kids. I'm sorry, I'm just so emotional about this.
No, take your time, ma'am. Let me ask you, are you referring to like a school bus stop?
Yes. A truck went into the bus stop and hit my grandson. He has brain bleeds now and he's 15 years old. And now they're trying to kick him out of school.
I'm sorry you're going through that, ma'am. So
I'm sorry.
Can you just share what the bus stop is?
The bus stop is by Bayside.
Okay.
But
do
it's,
you have the intersection?
how am I saying it? It's on De Groot, but it's south, I'm thinking brain-wise. North, I'm trying to figure out directions. It's not by the daycare. It's not by the elementary school. It's not by the high school where everything is chaotic there. But it's further.
Okay.
And there's
Okay,
a
if you
bus
could give that direction to one of our staffers, so that way we can at least see if Public Works can do something about,
But this
heightening that.
is not just that bus stop. This is every bus stop, and they're not maintained. The second thing is on US 1. If you're talking about putting signs up and making it beautiful for Palm Bay, that there's no lawn services on US 1. I come out of my complex, and I have to pull.
Get on the mic, ma'am. Don't get away from the mic. Get on the mic.
I have to pull out to see vehicles come. And we live in a community where there's nothing but seniors. So I don't know
Well,
what
maybe
else to
we could
say.
start there. Maybe we could start with the bus stop and that location. See if we could get you with staff, and maybe there's something that can be done. I'm truly sorry about your boy.
Thank you.
In regards to the FCC and those things, that's beyond our purview. But at least we can get to the bulk tax of the issues going on with your boy, how that ensued, and moreover, how we could prevent something from happening again where you live.
And I can honestly say, if anyone from the Palm Bay Police Department can sit at Bayside, they will see the horrendous trucks and cars that go flying through there, and these babies are not safe.
Well, thank you for your comments. The police chief, his ears just perked up when you said that. Next speaker.
That concludes public comment.
Okay, thank you. So we are now on public hearings number 2. Madam Smith.
Ordinance.
Madam Smith. Yes.
Ordinance 2023-14, an ordinance of the City of Palm Bay, Brevard County, Florida, vacating and abandoning a portion of the side 20-foot public utility and drainage easement located on Lot 20, Lot 777, Port Malabar Unit 16, according to the plat thereof, as recorded in Plat Book 15, pages 84 through 98 of the public records of Brevard County, Florida, and legally described herein, providing for an effective date.
I'm going to open up the public hearing and ask the applicant to present their case. Is the applicant here?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Whoever's going to speak, please speak into the mic. So get it close to you.
You have to excuse us, we're new to this, so.
Okay, well, go ahead. Who's going to speak? You or?
I can speak.
Okay, so get the mic close to you and go ahead and let us know what you're going to do, what you're trying to do.
Okay. We have a house that we were permitting at this location, and whenever we ordered the survey, the surveyor made a mistake. On the right side of the home, there was supposed to be a 20-foot drainage easement, and he only marked it as I believe it's a 6-foot drainage easement whenever it's next to a drainage right of way. So it's supposed to be the 20. So we proceeded with ordering our septic permit, driveway permit, building permit, everything made it through. Nobody caught the mistake. The house is now finished, and we are trying to get this vacate easement so we can let this homeowner move into their home.
Copy that. Thank you. Any questions, council?
No, Mayor.
Thank you.
Is that it?
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Madam Sherman, any additional comments?
No, sir. Thank you.
Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak for or against this item? Please state your name and address for the record.
Good evening. My name is Gretza Roman, and my address is 1515 McKay. I'm a realtor, and I'm representing the buyers in this transaction. They have been waiting for 2 years on this transaction. We started in March of 2021. They still don't have their home. They're paying $33,000 above the contract because it took so long to build it. And now that it's built, they can't even move in. They're still paying month-to-month rent on this, on their current home, because they thought that they would have this home done in like 8 months. So I beg of you, please reconsider this and allow them to continue and close on their home. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Roman. Any questions, gentlemen? Seeing none. Anyone else wish to speak for or against this item? Speaking to the mic, ma'am.
Good afternoon. My name is Denise Butler. That's my sister and my brother-in-law, Hiram Santiago. And it's been a long, long process trying to get them in this home. And it hurts when you work so hard to try to get your children in a house. And now, 3 years later, they're still waiting. The waiting has been too long. We need to just know what we're gonna do. The rent prices is keep going up, going up. The cost of living in Palm Bay is going up. You can't be paying rent and trying to save to move to pay your closing fee to get in a house. Which one we're gonna do? So I'm just speaking on behalf of my family. They needs to get in that house so I could get in there too. Thank you.
Well, thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your candor and honesty. Anyone else wish to speak for or against this item? Seeing none, I'm going to close the public hearing and ask for a motion.
So moved. Second.
Got a motion by Councilman Johnson, seconded by Deputy Mayor Felix. Any additional discussion, gentlemen? You made the motion. We're good to go. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Passes 3-0. Item, congratulations, congratulations. Item number 3, Ms. Smith. Item number 3, Ms. Smith.
Mayor, I believe Ms. Sherman has an announcement regarding this item.
Yes, thank you. So item, this is public hearing number 2.
Ma'am, on the mic, please.
This is public hearing number 2. This is ordinance 2023-14. It relates to Excuse me, I'm on the wrong one.
Number 3. Number 3.
Apologies. This is public hearing number 3, which is ordinance 2023-15. It was a case VE-3-2023. Dominic Migliaccio. You're here? Okay. So I needed to make an announcement for you. Staff determined that the legal ad had a very minor but important error in it. The lot number was incorrect. So the legal ad that actually went out advertising this discussion tonight was incorrect, so we cannot actually hear this item tonight. It has to be continued to the May 4th council meeting. So I apologize for that mistake on behalf of staff, but I wanted to let you know that's going to have to be moved to the May 4th council meeting. And I'm certainly happy to have staff follow up with you to talk through that further if you have any questions.
Really sorry about that, sir. May 4th. Okay, we are now on item number 4.
Mayor,
Yes,
we do need a motion to continue the item to May 4th.
copy that. Council need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion by Councilman Johnson, seconded by Deputy Mayor Felix. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes 3-0 to move to May 4th. Item number 4. Ms. Smith.
The following item is quasi-judicial in nature. Public hearings agenda item number 4. Any person who wishes to testify on such a matter must sign a speaker card which contains a sworn oath to tell the truth. Any individual addressing the council must state his or her name and confirm that a speaker card has been signed. Attorneys who are appearing on behalf of a party and not providing testimonial evidence are not considered witnesses and need not be sworn. Council should disclose any ex parte communication by disclosing the subject matter of the communication and the identity of the person, group, or entity with whom the communication took place. The order of this proceeding will be as follows. First, the applicant will make his presentation, followed by staff comments, followed by any aggrieved or adversely affected party that has complied with section 59.03. Each will have a maximum of 30 minutes. Any speaker may be subject to cross-examination by the council or any other interested party. Any other person may speak for a maximum of 3 minutes. The applicant will then be allowed concluding remarks. The quasi-judicial body may modify the time limits on its own motion or upon request of a party to the proceeding. The hearing will then be closed and no additional testimony or argument will be allowed. The council will then deliberate in public. At the end of deliberation, a council member will make a motion on the application to bring the matter to a vote. Every council member is then free to vote in favor or against the motion. Resolution 2023-09, a resolution of the City of Palm Bay, Brevard County, Florida, granting a conditional use to allow for a self-storage facility in CC, Community Commercial District zoning, which property is generally located between Babcock Street and Connect Road in the vicinity south of Palm Bay Road and legally described herein, granting the use as a conditional use, providing for a commencement period, providing for an effective date.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm going to open up the public hearing and ask the applicant to present their case.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Ken Hartel. I'm a civil design engineer. I've been brought on by U-Haul to help them bring this project to life. So I think staff did a pretty good job describing what we're trying to do here. Basically, on the top left, that is an existing U-Haul site that we're basically looking to expand into that striped area. We're trying to add in a self-storage development. It's going to be those 10 by 10 units with the roll-up doors that people can go and store. And then we're also going to put what's called a U-Box building, which we use to store those pods that you deliver to your house and fill it up with storage, and then we'll hold them there in that building. I think aside from that, the only unique feature of this lot is it is landlocked. So it's pretty hard to develop for other people aside from U-Haul since we're right next to it. So we thought this would be a good opportunity to improve it. It's currently a vacant lot. It's not serving any purpose for anybody. We thought this might be a good addition for the citizens of Palm Bay. Thank you.
Thank you. You know, visually, I like the project, right? Here are my concerns. And they're twofold. The very first is, like you said, you're landlocked, right? And so you're going to use an existing corridor to get access.
That's correct.
I believe that existing corridor is not equipped to handle the traffic that you're gonna impede on there. That's the first thing I have an issue with. The second thing is when you drive on Palm Bay Road, when you're making that left-hand turn, and I was in Tallahassee all week, and I made it a point that when I came in last night to go to that same location because of these concerns. Making that left turn onto that traffic is going to be difficult in it of itself. You've got that hump to begin with, right? And you got 3 to 4 lanes of traffic that you're contending with. So those are my concerns. That's the very first one. So you obviously, from what I've been informed, have an agreement to use that corridor. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
We recently got an easement to allow us to use that corridor.
Okay. So my next question is, there's on the east side of that property, there's another corridor that leads into a dental place, I believe, right?
Yes.
And so have you asked them for an agreement to continue that corridor to give you multiple access to that location?
That's actually a good question. I don't know, Cal, have we approached the dental office? Sorry, I've a representative with U-Haul who's come to help me with
Thank
questions
you.
that
I
I've known.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. I'm Cal Connor with U-Haul. I'm the president of Eastern Florida. This is my project that we're talking about. Regarding the turning the access from Palm Bay Road, if you're going westbound,
yes,
into the property, there's already a turn lane there.
Yes.
So that's already a common entrance in. In fact, that entrance goes into the U-Haul property. That's part of the U-Haul owned property where that entrance is. However, due to current cross easement agreements, we do have in place to where Publix customers come in and out of that entrance, McDonald's customers, and the entire plaza, which, as I'm sure you're aware, the plaza is being redeveloped with the exception of the McDonald's and the U-Haul sections. There are other entrances into the plaza as well. There's a southern entrance, which goes to the south side of what is currently the abandoned portion of the plaza. And it comes around to the fire lane in the back, or the delivery lane in the back. To the north of that, there are at least 2 other entrances into the plaza. There might possibly be 3, but I know for sure there's 2 more. Further, when you come further north than that and turn onto Palm Bay Road, there's another entrance right next to the McDonald's that enters into the plaza as well. Again, there's cross easement agreements already in place with everybody regarding those. Concerning the facility itself, the storage area itself, the impact of traffic coming in and out of there is going to be very minimal. There's not many storage units being built. Again, you're familiar with the property, so you know we already have a self-storage facility there, as well as a retail area there as well with the truck rentals and the retail sales. So for impact, there's not going to be that much additional traffic coming in and out of the plaza. With the U-Box, there will be very, very minimal because customers don't access the U-Box area back in that back corner. So right now, this is simply a landlocked section of property that we're looking to develop. Now, as far as the entrance into the dental offices, yes, that was looked at one point.
Okay.
Between our engineers and my corporate office, the decision was made, rather than go that direction, to go in through the property that we already own, that U-Haul owns, go through that area. It's already established. There's really no issues there as far as I see. And I actually moved my corporate offices into that building right there across from where the entrance into this is going to be, in the back southeast corner of the old Kmart. I moved my corporate offices there about 5 years ago when we first developed the site. And the window from my office actually looks at where the dumpster is now. And it's going to be the entrance into this property.
Yeah, and like I said, I like the project because it's out, it's out of the view of folks, right?
Mhm.
My concern is the corridor that you're using was not constructed to have traffic. So if you're telling me that it's going to be minimal traffic, I agree with you. Those pods, that's going to be, you just go and get a truck, load it, and go deliver it. But how many of those storage facilities are you going to provide on that property?
We have 162 of the 10 by 10s that the public can go access themselves.
So 162.
Yes.
And usually that's at least one car per. That's more traffic than, I'm not sure and I'm not an engineer.
Me too.
I'm not an engineer. But
Just a businessman.
my concern is that the actual traffic that you're creating on a property that wasn't built for as a corridor. It was more as, providing traffic for replacing the cars or for storage. That's an area of concern, is delivering, impacting that corridor more. That's where I'm at. But if you're telling me it's only 162 units, people are going to use it every now and then, I can see where this would be a benefit to you. But I do like the project because it's away and it's out of the main corridor's view. Any questions, Council? Yeah.
No, good.
Any questions, Council?
No.
All right, thank you. That was just my comments and my questions.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Any public speaker cards?
Item, Mayor.
So let me ask you this. Would you consider, why did you not deal with the doctor's office? Why, you said you discussed it and decided to go against that? Instead of having both access?
The easiest reason is just because the drive on U-Haul is already there, whereas the doctor's office, we have to construct it from their lot down.
So it's just a cost saving?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're using a drive that's already there versus one that's not. So.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Deputy Mayor, no speaker cards?
No speaker cards.
Madam Sherman, any comments from staff?
No, sir.
You
Thank
wanted
you.
that? Okay, so I'm closing the public hearing and asking for a motion.
So move. Second.
Got a motion by Councilman Johnson, seconded by Deputy Mayor Felix. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Passes 3-0. Item number 5.
Ordinance 2023-16, an ordinance of the City of Palm Bay, Brevard County, Florida, amending the Code of Ordinances, Title 17, Land Development Code, Chapter 183, Comprehensive Plan Regulations, Section 183.01, Comprehensive Plan, Subsection D, Adoption of Future Land Use Map, by amending Future Land Use Map, providing for the repeal of ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for an effective date.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm going to open up the public hearing. Ask the applicant to present their case. I saw you sneaking in, walking in the background, sir.
Sneaking around the back, yeah. Do you mind queuing up there? Thank you so much. Jake Wise, civil engineer for the project.
Get that mic closer to you. We've got, some sound issues. So if we just help me out speaking on the mic, it really helped.
I also learned this trick recently. That's so cool.
Yeah, you're a tall guy.
All right. Jake Wise, civil engineer for the project. And wanted to, first of all, just identify the location of the site. So what we're looking at is, oh, there it is. There we go. So that's our site right here. This is I-95 just to the west. Emerald Lakes, the eastern half of it is just to our north. And to the south is Miko Road. And recently you have seen the Ashton Park project, which is to the south and to the east. On both the east and the west sides of this project are eels preservation land. So those will remain in perpetuity. And so we have also 2 large existing lakes that are on the site. And we'll talk about that a little bit more. But before we dug into it, I wanted to introduce you to Jim Gilda. He is the Chief Development Officer of and one of the owners of the project. And he wanted to say a few words about it as well.
Good evening, everyone. I'll apologize up front.
Close to the mic, Jim. if you
Good
don't
evening.
mind.
I'm
Sure.
James Gilda with Lotus Group. I'm the Chief Development Officer and one of the business owners and partners. I do apologize. I am getting over a sinus infection this week, so I'm a little hoarse, a little hard to hear, so I will do my best and try to keep it brief. I just wanted to give everybody a little bit of an overview of my company and who we are coming into Palm Bay to look at developing this property. Lotus Group is a South Florida-based firm. We're based in Boca Raton. I formed the firm with 2 partners in 2008 during the Great Recession when all of us lost our jobs and we started a business in a garage. And here we are a number of years later. We are a vertically integrated real estate development firm, which means that we acquire land, we do the design, the entitlements, the permitting, horizontal development, vertical construction, all the way through stabilization. So basically soup to nuts. We do majority of our work in-house with a strong team of professional consultants. We are also an interdisciplinary firm of about 25 people, which means that we have crafted this firm to have development staff with varied backgrounds. So we have people that are architects, civil engineers, landscape architects, finance gurus, planners, interior designers. So, we truly are a diverse group of people that have had, professional experiences in all different stages of the development process from one specialty to another. And we've come together to form the development company and, create these projects and move them, from the beginning through completion. These are 2 of my business partners, John Markey, Adam Friedman. John on the top is our eldest business partner. He has basically done quite a few different things related to development. He's worked in the field as a tradesman. He's an architect at GC. Adam, right below him, is our chief money guy. He deals with all the funds and ins and outs of financing and putting all the bank and equity together to build these projects. Then there's myself. My background is actually landscape architecture, and I went into land use consultation and design and permitting. And then our 4th partner is Brady Hooker, who also is involved in the finance side, primarily on the private equity component, which is a more and more important part of projects these days as banks are, constricting their lending and whatnot. Our primary products that we build have always been mixed use and multifamily residential. So that includes garden apartments, that includes different types of senior living from independent through assisted. It includes some commercial retail, office, institutional uses as well, such as daycares, places of worship. We have a number of projects that we are involved in currently, and I'm going to share a few with you today. This first one up here is in Tamarack, Florida, which is western Broward County, a suburb of Fort Lauderdale. And this is a 400-unit apartment complex, 4-story garden style, which is wrapping up construction right now. 401 units with 450,000 square foot of space. It's a dense urban site, being in Broward County. The next project I have is actually a senior living project. It's a 2-story assisted living facility that's going to be operated by Harbor Chase or HRA Retirement. That is actually also completing construction this month, and I should have move-ins in May. This is located in central Palm Beach County in Boynton Beach, and it's a 138 resident facility and 110,000 square foot building. My largest project, in conjunction with the one we're speaking about tonight, is located in Wellington, Florida, which is a suburb of Palm Beach County, which is very well known for its equestrian events. polo, big time in polo, and dressage and all the different riding events that are associated. For me, this is a large project. This is a 120-acre mixed-use site. It's fairly dense. It has over 685 units, which is split between apartments, townhomes, independent living, assisted living, and then a fair amount of commercial. I have about 300,000 to 400,000 square foot of commercial, which is mixed between retail, restaurants, office, some daycare, and then some medical office as well. And I'm going to turn this back over to Jake to complete the presentation about what we're here to discuss this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, and nice meeting you, sir.
Yeah, I thought you might want to get to know a little bit more about the group that is making such a huge investment into Palm Bay, and this whole area is growing rapidly. So what you're looking at now is the site, but it's turned on its side. So we have I-95 is towards the top, which is west, and towards the right is north. So the two large lakes there, we're actually making a huge amenity for the project. We're reshaping them, and we're going to provide an additional amount of stormwater treatment and things like that for it. The overall project is about over 350 acres, and what we're asking for tonight is to change the future land use of it. That's the only vote we're asking for tonight. So right now it's a Miko Park Village District, which was a land use created a decade ago or so, which really doesn't work in today's economy. So we're requesting a change to Parkway Flex use. And the Parkway, I'm sure, will be a key part of what you want to hear about tonight. So this project includes the extension of the Parkway from Emerald Lakes to the north, through our project site, down to Miko Road, which also coincides with the very northwest corner of Ashton Park, and both Emerald Lakes, Ashton Park, and our team have been working together along with the city. We've had multiple meetings between the development groups and the city, separately and together, working to extend the Parkway. So the Parkway is fully permitted through Emerald Lakes East. Through here, it is not yet, but that is underway. We're starting the design and permitting now for that. That will be extended with development dollars. The city is currently, as this board is very well aware, investing in water and wastewater plant expansion projects. One of them is just about done. The other one will be done next year. And those, while that is a city-wide benefit, it also was in anticipation of this project and other projects in this area. So this project would be extending the utilities as well as the Parkway as part of their development costs. So that would not be a burden to the city at all as far as doing that. So what we're proposing here is, by the bubble plan that you see, is a mixture of different types of residential between single family and multifamily, large commercial areas as well. And just to break that down quickly for you, we're looking at about 184 acres of single family. That wraps around kind of the north and the west sides and around the south. So around the lakes, it is intended to be a completely walkable community. There will be some public access along the lakes as well. We're looking at commercial focused in this corner here, multi-apartments, which of course is support the commercial and is a tax, the cities are well aware. And then on the east side, backing up to the Eels Preservation Lands, are more commercial areas, and we're really focused on trying to do either a daycare or church or charter school, something like that. That'll be a huge benefit to the residents of the whole area, but especially for this development as well. I don't normally do this, but I just wanted to read quickly part of the staff report, because I couldn't have said it more eloquently, I think, than they did. It states the proposed land use amendment would be considered compatible as a diversity and mixture of residential and non-residential uses provide for a more efficient distribution of compatible land uses and further addresses the long-term responsible growth by the city by providing residents with diverse housing options. So that is exactly what we're doing here, and that is our plan. We do have preliminary school concurrency already as the project would move forward. If we're blessed with your approval tonight to move forward with the land use, we would come back later with a second school concurrency review. But right now we have our preliminary concurrency approved already. There's 8 elements that are detailed in the staff report that are for your consideration when looking at a land use change like this. I promise I won't go through all 8, but if you have had a chance to go through the report, we do comply with all 8 of them as you go through them. And that's everything from the future land use to conservation, housing, infrastructure, intergovernment coordination, recreation, transportation, and property rights. We had a neighborhood meeting and we had nobody attend. So we haven't had any objections from any neighbors at all. And as I mentioned before, we've already been working with the 2 developments to the north and to the south of us. I've also spoken with the landowner directly to the south of Miko Road as well. So he's familiar with and knows what we're doing with our project too. At Planning and Zoning Board, we had a unanimous recommendation for approval, and staff is recommending approval as well. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions you have and appreciate a chance to respond to any public comments.
Well, Mr. Jake or Mr. Wise, first thing I want to say is thank you for including commercial. I'll start there. But institutional, that should be separate regarding commercial, right? You mix that in when you say churches and stuff. That I agree. You should have a church in that neighborhood. There's no doubt about it. Here's my question. You know, you got Bayside High School you're using with the school concurrency. That you're gonna have to look at. There's got to be another school, and you're talking about the middle school is going to be Stone, or these are like decades away. This is like so far away. So I don't see how that's going to play a role. Have you considered in this plan to include a school within those 354 acres with Brevard Public Schools?
We originally were looking at that. However, Waterstone and Cypress Bay, they're already in negotiations with a charter school. It's a K through 12. Emerald Lakes has a charter school. It's a K through 12. That's part of that master plan. And then Ashton Park, as you know, we went through in details. They have 38 for public schools. So with all of that already happening around us, we just didn't see a need for an additional school on this site. It just doesn't seem like it's needed at all.
Institutional, though, you mentioned.
Yes.
Yes. I
So
think
daycare, church, that's one of the
church
focuses.
is big.
Yeah.
In a master plan. Thank you. I don't have any other questions other than, the school concurrency. I understand, but you're mentioning other schools that are so far away from the actual project.
Well, the school concurrency process evaluates the public schools because it's gone through the public schools. It doesn't consider the charter schools, and it doesn't consider the Ashton Park 30 acres because it's not presently an open school.
Right. That's why I asked if you had any discussion with PBS, if there's anything going on over there.
Yeah, they seem to be happy with 30.
All right. Thank you. Any other questions?
I just you pretty much touched on it. That was the only concern I have as well, as far as the school, the lack of thereof in that area. But as we know, you are pretty much involved you're pretty much making it all happen in that quadrant of the city. So I think Mr. Wise has his hand in every single project out there. So you're all well aware of what's already in place in terms of being negotiated right now. So we are certainly, we're going to take your word in terms of knowing that you're aware of what's going on being negotiated. So, but that would be the only concern I have. But I think it's a great project. I'm very excited that finally we get traction out in that area. So
we are too. Yeah.
Thank you.
You know what? It was a miss. I didn't mention. I did slip to the one last slide, which has a little bit more detail. Again, on this one, the north is to the right. And I should have mentioned fire and police. Fire and police, we have already met with and worked with multiple times along with the city. They have picked a site on Emerald Lakes and they have picked a site on Ashton Park. So they want those, and they would have great access to this as well.
Awesome. Yeah, so I agree. I do like the project. Well, I'll tell you what I like. You considered commercial. Out of 354 acres, you considered commercial. There was a case where we had 1,198 acres, and all I wanted was 27. So I really appreciate you listening to the council in that direction. So I want to thank you for that. Take advantage of me saying thank you.
Thank you.
So thank you, Mr. Wise. Any other questions, gentlemen? Thank you, sir. Does that conclude your presentation?
It does, yeah. Just appreciate a chance if there's any public comment.
Aye, sir. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak for or against this item? Master Chief Batten? Anyone else? Thank you, Master Chief.
I'm not this tall.
Yeah, you and me both, sir.
Bill Batten, 586 Ocean Spray Street Southwest. I have four items I'd like to address on this one. Number one, I am in favor of this project because without this project, the St. John's Heritage Parkway would fail. That's number one. But along with St. John's Heritage Parkway, I like the idea that there's no tax abatement with this one, and there's no tax dollar being spent on St. John's Heritage Parkway. That's a plus. But it leads into one other question. There's three separate identities in this one. We have Aston Park and Emerald Lakes and this one. They have to be working together because if either one of these units fail or for some reason it collapses, we don't have the St. John's Heritage Parkway. So my question is, are they going to be able to complete with this one without having the other portions done or their plans in works? Item number two, future expansion on Miko Road, where they're coming in, where their property ends, coming out onto Miko Road, that's right at the I-95 overpass. So there's going to be a massive impact on Miko Road, and they're going to make and that's it's going to be a massive build because that's a new bridge over 95 for expansion. Just putting that out there. I know that's a different landowner's rights, though. Number three, I'd like to see somehow if they could come up with some 1 acre sites because they're right next to the eel land where you could have horse trails right into eel's land. That would make those houses big dollar homes with stables. It would just be a pat on the back and you'd have 1 or 2 executives living there, which would be great. Item number four, how did the pedestrians cross the St. John's Heritage to gain access into the Miko Park? And I didn't see any pedestrian crosswalks because that's going to be going in conjunction with Aston Park and Emerald Lakes. So those are my three questions. I'm in favor of this one because without it, St. John's Heritage Parkway will fail. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Dan Corcoran, 2124 Winbrook Drive. Mental telepathy must be doing very well for us tonight because Mr. Batten, with item number 3, matched exactly what I was going to talk about. Here we are. I know we're doing land use here on this one here, but we want to see developments with larger lots. Okay, right out of the chute here, we've got 40 by 125 and 50 by 125, and Palm Bay has got a lot of those. Here we have a project, a blank sheet of paper, and an opportunity for us to come up with some bigger houses that might be available for STEM type individuals to be willing to drive down from Melbourne to go in and have a nice place to live in the city of Palm Bay. So I'd appreciate it if you can consider that as part of the development plan in this and others that are going to be in that cluster in the southeast corner of Palm Bay. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak? Come on, step forward, ma'am.
Mary Corcoran, Winbrook Drive. Hearing the presentation, I know he mentioned commercial, but he talked about daycare and church, but I didn't hear anything that would really entice executives or people who would live on the larger lots. I agree with having larger lots. Because he said it's mixed use, but mixed use, he said there are apartments, senior housings, single family homes. It's just more of the same. It is, they want to change the future land use for what we already have. And I came up here tonight talking about 1 acre lots. Mr. Corcoran talked about 1 acre lots. But what he's offering is more of the same. So I would like you to consider larger lots. And when they talk about development, businesses, daycare, I mean, how many people are going to be employed through those? We have a lot of Dollar General stores on almost every corner. We're not bringing in the businesses that could make this city truly great. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else wish to speak for or against this item? Seeing none, I'm going to ask the applicant to come back and address the concerns of our public.
Thank you. Sorry. There we go. I think I got notes on everything. So as far as the St. John's Heritage Parkway goes, I mentioned briefly about it being a walkable community. We actually intentionally spaced the intersections so that they meet all FDOT and city criteria to have traffic signals. So the anticipation is with a traffic signal warrant, which is the only way you're allowed to install a traffic signal, that we would have them there, and that would help with the pedestrian interconnectivity and crossing the parkway as well. As far as the coordination of it, so with this particular piece of property, we control our own destiny, obviously, with the parkway coming through our project. The only other development that we would coordinate with is Emerald Lakes East of the north side. As you know, the entire interchange has already been constructed. DOT has constructed 1,200 feet of the beginning of the parkway towards the east. That right-of-way is already dedicated, and that part of the parkway is already permitted. So what we're doing is coordinating with them and the city with a developers agreement about who would pay for what. Right now, we don't even have our land use, so that are details that we've already started, but we're not there yet to solve all of that. As far as Miko Road goes, we do anticipate the majority of our traffic would likely go north and up to I-95 and over to Babcock Street and to Palm Bay. There will, of course, be some traffic on the Miko Road. And as we move through the project, of course, we'll be back. You'll see us again. We'll go through the preliminary development plan and final development plan approval process. And we would have our traffic studies and real hard numbers at that time. But what we're hoping to do with the mixed use, because we do have a big commercial element, is to keep a lot of the residents there, and of course to provide an attractive area for the rest of Palm Bay residents to come to with the commercial. And of course, again, those two lakes are just spectacular, beautiful amenities. Can foresee all this public access around these areas would just be spectacular for the residents as well. As far as 1 acre sites go, or large equestrian, that is something that would be done typically in an area that is little more remote than something like this. That is not something that we felt like was a good fit here. We do another project in the same vicinity that is more remote, that is going to be a proposal coming forward to you in the near future. So I know you guys will be excited to see that, but that is not part of this proposal as it is today. So with that being said, if the board has any questions, I appreciate your time.
Does the future proposal include an equestrian community or 1 acre lots?
It does.
Copy that.
Yeah.
And the proximity of that project to this?
South and east of here, like I said, a little more remote. We're a little narrow.
I'm tracking you. I'm tracking.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Any other questions? Good. Thank you, Mr. Weiss.
you.
Closing the public hearing, asking for a motion.
Motion to approve ordinance 2023-16, first reading.
Second.
Got a motion by Councilman Johnson, seconded by Deputy Mayor Felix. Councilman Johnson, you made the motion. Any comments? Deputy Mayor?
I'm here.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Passes 3-0. Item number 6. Ms. Smith.
Ordinance 2023-17, an ordinance of the City of Palm Bay, Brevard County, Florida, amending the Code of Ordinances, Title 17, Land Development Code, Chapter 185, Zoning Code, Subchapters, District Regulations, and Conditional Uses by modifying provisions related to self-storage facilities, providing for the repeal of ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for inclusion in the City of Palm Bay Code of Ordinances, providing for a severability clause, providing for an effective date.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm going to open up the public hearing. And Ms. Sherman.
Thank you, Mayor. This is an item that I'll have Alex Bernard, our Growth Management Director, introduce. I also didn't know if Councilman Johnson wanted to speak to it briefly before we start.
Yes,
Councilman Johnson?
I'll be brief. First, thank you, council, for, yeah, these mics are kind of.
Yeah, they are difficult.
Test. First, I would like to thank council for entertaining this item and staff for working diligently on it. What I was looking for with this and what Ms. Alex Bernard and staff did was open it up for we're talking about light industrial and heavy industrial for use or permitted use where where we at general commercial it'll be a conditional use. So just like the item before, if we didn't see it for what it was, we could have shot it down. This gives us the more discretion in regards to future projects for warehouses. And my intentions with this is to make sure that we have them in suitable areas throughout the city, not just pickpocketing here, there. So I really am excited by this. Thank you again, ma'am. Thank you everybody else involved. But she'll break it down to more technical terms. So thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So what you have before you is a textual amendment in regards to self-storage facilities. The way the code is currently written is that it is a permitted use in GC and it is a conditional use in CC and highway commercial. What is being proposed before you tonight is to have it be a conditional use in all three. So that would be GC, CC, and HC, with it being a permitted use by right in warehousing, heavy industrial, and light industrial, as Councilman Johnson stated. The other thing that staff looked at was to put some different parameters on what it looks like for a self-storage facility. So those would be things such as not having doors face to a residential area, so and offsetting the buildings off the site from the front of the road and just making it more visually appealing. And you'll see all of that as part of your document tonight. Be happy to answer any questions you have for me.
No, I really thank you for all your hard work. I really like this. And I'll tell you what else I like. I like for it to, I love the storefront aspect of this, right? Aesthetically pleasing. But I'd like for it to also include major corridors like Palm Bay Road. Not necessarily Emerson, but Palm Bay Road, Malabar Road. I'd like for it to be across the board aesthetically pleasing throughout these big major corridors, because I think that would be a sweet spot for everything if we can actually identify these major corridors. And if they're going to build, I love the storefront aspect of it. Those are my only comments. I don't know if that's something that you guys would entertain, but that's how I feel about it.
I believe that's already addressed in here as one of the things is the major corridors.
Okay. Anything else?
I'd like to commend my colleague for that foresight in terms of truly paying attention to what the residents are sharing with us and really turning into policy and procedure, kind of use that as a guide. And also thank you staff as well to put the work into it and make it reality. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Anyone wish to speak for or against this item? Seeing none, I'm closing the public hearing and asking for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion by Councilman Johnson, seconded by Deputy Mayor Felix. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes 3-0. We are now on consent. We are now on consent. Deputy Mayor.
Yes, Mayor, number 3, consent number 3 and number 14.
Number 3 and 14.
Yes, sir.
And council wish to pull any items? Seeing none? Need a motion?
Motion to accept consent agenda with the exception of number 3 and number 14.
Second.
Got a motion by Deputy Mayor Felix, seconded by Councilman Johnson. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes 3-0. Madam Smith.
Yes, sir. Ordinance 2023-18, an ordinance of the City of Palm Bay, Brevard County, Florida, redefining and establishing the territorial and corporate limits of the City of Palm Bay, Florida, providing for the city clerk to file said definition of the city's boundaries of the state of Florida, Secretary of State, providing for the repeal of ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for inclusion in the City of Palm Bay Code of Ordinances, providing for a severability clause, providing for an effective date. Ordinance 2023-19, an ordinance of the City of Palm Bay, Brevard County, Florida, amending the Code of Ordinances, Title III, Administration, Chapter 34, Human Resources, Subchapter, General Provisions, by including provisions for a general background check requirement and a special criminal history background check, providing for the repeal of ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for inclusion in the City of Palm Bay Code of Ordinances, providing for a severability clause, providing for an effective date. Ordinance 2023-20, an ordinance of the City of Palm Bay, Brevard County, Florida, amending the Code of Ordinances, Title V, Legislative, Chapter 50, Public Hearings, by modifying provisions related to public hearing notices, providing for the repeal of ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for inclusion in the City of Palm Bay Code of Ordinances, providing for a severability clause, providing for an effective date. Ordinance 2023-21, an ordinance of the City of Palm Bay, Brevard County, Florida, amending the fiscal year 2023 budget by appropriating and allocating funds identified in Exhibit A, consisting of 6 pages and incorporated in its entirety herein. Recognizing that such appropriations must be made pursuant to the Code of Ordinances of the City of Palm Bay, Chapter 35, adopting, ratifying, confirming, and validating the allocations, providing for an effective date. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. We are now on item number 3. Deputy Mayor?
Mr. Bill Batten.
Bill Batten, 586 Ocean Spray Street Southwest. I'm appreciative of the fact that we're getting our roads paved. I'm sorry for the fact that it had to be at the taxpayer's expense, but that's where we're at. That generates 2 questions with this one. On Madden and Osmosis, since they're not in the actual zone for the original plan, I'm appreciative of the fact that they are being done. Because like we've had the compound problems that are there, this is going to help us with that presentation that this is not the wild, wild west out there, that's going to make it look a little better presentation because the roads will be paved and you won't see people burning donuts in the middle of the road to make a cloud of dust. It's going to alleviate that one. Our first impressions are sometimes the lasting impressions when people come to the city. That's why I think this is good for Madden and Osmosis. But it does generate another question. How much of Madden and Osmosis is going to be paved? I didn't see Frank here, so I might not get that answer tonight. So what was the distance? Is it going to go all the way across Bombardier, all the way to the end of Madden? And is it going to go all the way down into where it makes the turn? And is Osmosis are we going to just stop at Osmosis and Madden, or is it going to continue into the compound? So those are the questions. I just wasn't sure how long the run was to meet that. So I might not get that answer tonight, but I'm glad we're proceeding with it. And There we are. Thank you.
Thank you. Ma'am, is there any way we could, can you respond to that, or are we looking to reply at a later date?
We may have to get back to Mr. Batten. I don't believe we have that readily available.
Okay, that'll work. That'll work.
Mr. Batten? You may come back. Sorry.
We haven't voted. Yeah. No, we haven't voted.
We didn't vote yet.
Yeah,
You're
I
good.
need a motion. We're on item 3.
All right, so move.
Second.
I got a motion by Councilman Johnson, seconded by Deputy Mayor Felix. I guess we've had a long week. Is that safe to say, Deputy Mayor? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes 3-0. We are now on item number 14.
Bill Batten, 586 Ocean Spray Street Southwest. I have 2 items I'd like to bring up on this one. The first one is a question. So what does in-kind services mean? Normally when I see in-kind services, I'm expecting to see something of in-kind services. Otherwise, they're just providing something. That leads me to question number 2 is, since the canopy is going to be replaced in this, can I purchase the canopy that's out there, because it's a very nice canopy and I'd like to purchase it? And if so, how much? Because that'll help the church get some of their funds. And I'm serious in that because it's a very nice canopy, and since we're going to put another one in there, I know a Pattonville ranch that could use that canopy. Thank you.
Thank you, Master Chief. Madam Sherman?
Thank you, Mayor. So in kind in this case refers to the fact that all the costs related to this improvement that's proposed by the church will be donated by the church essentially, and folks associated with them. So there's no city costs involved. As to the condition of the pavilion that's there currently, my understanding is it's worn out and needs to be taken down. So I'm not sure there will be anything left to even acquire, but if the city does have something that has some life left in it, we have a surplus process that we go through. So there would be a competitive process for anyone to acquire something that we were getting rid of. I'm sure staff can follow up with you on the status of that later.
Thank you. Any other? Yes.
Ken Delgado?
Okay. Got to get on the mic, brother, because I can't hear. Yeah, he called Pastor Ken Delgado. Thank you, sir.
Thank you all. Ken Delgado, 154 Angelo Road, Southeast Palm Bay. I guess I have 3 minutes. I just want to say that I believe that the community at large loves our police department and appreciates they laying down their lives for the benefit of the community. And I believe there's going to be a great support to change this pavilion and make it larger and better, including encasing it with a fence and making a little garden area for reflection, as well as having a barbecue place and a larger location where they can sit, rest, and relax. We not only want to do this for the city, for the police department, but perhaps maybe even next year we can do something for the fire department and then move from there. Our hearts are knitted with the city. We are part of the city. We believe in investing in the place that we live at. Our community, our church is a giving church. It's a generous church. It's a life-filled church that really wants to impact the community for the better. And I think if we take care of the police department and the policemen or police persons or policemen and women, they would I think they would just be more proud to be serving in the greatest city on the face of the earth, the city of Palm Bay. I plan on making a video that will then be sent out to promote it to other churches, to businesses, and maybe even have the potential of recognizing the donors on the wall that's right there, hiding the garbage. I'm not saying that the donors are garbage. I'm just saying that it's hiding the garbage dumps. I'm sorry. Just my mind sometimes goes off a little bit. Anyway, so we're hoping that you will accept this and let us bless the city, bless the police department, and we love the police department and all that they're doing. Thank you. Any questions?
Any questions?
Pastor Delgado, thank you so much. You know, I'm sure council would agree with me. What a great gesture. Thank you so much to you and the church as well.
Yeah, the house church.
Yes, sir.
A giving church.
Yes, sir.
A loving church. A church where you're loved, accepted, and connected.
Yes, sir.
What a wonderful gesture.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Pastor. I need a motion.
So moved.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Passes 3-0. We are now on new business number 2. Madam Jones.
Yes, Mayor and Council, this is a request for a workshop that was canceled back in February, so it has been rescheduled. It's for the Republic Services update for Tuesday, April 25th at 6 p.m.
Tuesday, April 25th, 6 p.m. Okay, no motion is needed. Everyone's on notice. Workshop. We are now on council reports, and I'll lead with Mr. Johnson.
Nothing, Mayor.
Councilman Johnson.
Nothing,
Then
Mayor.
Deputy Mayor Felix.
Mayor, I'd like to take this opportunity. Val just left the building. I was very proud.
Valentino? Oh, as you were.
Almost not sure how to refer to him, which is
Mr. Perez.
But Mr. Perez, I was glad to be part of the process, IAS, a process where they, a team from that organization came to finally do the final, where we can truly be recognized. I mean, we have been, and so have a chance to. I was interviewed, and I was very proud to say give my feedback and also receive some as well. So just wanted to congratulate Mr. Perez and his team, and as well the city of Palm Bay is something we should certainly be proud of. Thank you, staff.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I'll be brief. I just want to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of our delegation. We had a really successful time, in my opinion. Had some really good meetings with Representative Randy Fine, Representative Tyler Soroy, Representative Thad Altman, Senator Mayfield. We were able to meet with staff of individuals that were not available because they were on the floor, but I really had a great session with those individuals, and I feel really good about their support and everything that they've done for our city. So I'm still believing that we have great representation, and I'm really grateful for that. So I'll end with that. Administrative reports, Madam Sherman.
Thank you, Mayor. I just have one announcement. I want to welcome and recognize our new Chief Procurement Officer, George Barber. He's in the house tonight.
George Barber. Sounds like a baseball name, ma'am.
If you'd like, I can have George come
Absolutely,
up and say a few
George.
words and introduce himself. Come on up, George.
George.
George joined us late March from Plantation, so we're glad to
All
have
right,
him.
George. Bring it up, sir.
Good evening.
Help him out, Mr. Robinson.
Am I good?
Thank you. Oh, there you go.
I got it. Yeah, I'm excited to be here. It's week 3, but everyone is treating me like it's been 3 years. So I'm excited. The family's up here, and I'm just glad to be a part of the team. So I'm grateful and happy, and look forward to making an impact.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you staying there this late, and tell us a little bit about yourself. What's something interesting and intriguing about you?
So Mayor here, I think he's a baseball fan for sure.
Yes, I am a baseball fan, but
The sweet spot.
yeah, seeing that I am a baseball fan, Tell me a little bit about baseball, George.
So, yeah, once upon a time, back in my younger days, I was drafted to the MLB by the Los Angeles Angels. Played with the Angels for a little bit. I played with the Baltimore Orioles, and then I played over in Australia. So
You got a Baltimore fan. Now,
Yeah.
I'm a Yankee fan, but I'm a baseball fan. You know, it's the heart of the game, right? So tell us a little bit. You played Double-A.
Yeah. So I got drafted by Anaheim and LA, I guess.
Yeah.
And I was there for a little bit, and then I went over to Baltimore, and I got to Double-A, which is like right before you get to the big leagues. Didn't work out. Tore my labrum. Met a girl. And, and then that was it. I kind of hung it up, and
Yeah, but playing even minor league baseballs, people, you have to understand, you know, the level of that sport. And, you know, kudos to you, brother. I'm glad you're on our team because baseball player of your stature, maybe I could get some pointers. I still feel like I love the game, you know, but we'll talk about that later. Welcome to the team.
Thank you.
Welcome to the team. Really proud that you're here.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Does that conclude your reports, ma'am? Madam Smith.
Nothing further.
And now we're on public comments. Anyone else wish to speak?
Mayor, I do have Mr. Bill Batten said
Bill Batten, 586 Ocean Spray Street Southwest. First item was under point of order. I had submitted a card to speak on old business number 1, and I didn't get a chance to speak. So I think
that was unfinished business, so that was moved. I guess
it was
Mayor,
moved,
it
and I had
open.
my time's running, buddy.
I thought you asked a question. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, sir. Carry on. Carry on.
Sorry, mate.
Carry on,
Okay,
sir.
all right.
Reset
And
the time.
I did have, since I did have that in there, I think I might get a little extra time because I did submit my paperwork and it's there. Okay, but that was to address under old business, unfinished and old business, right? So my comment on that one was going to be, since it was selection of 5 individuals, remember, you cannot blame the state of the city on past council members if you reappoint them back to this council. That makes you part of the past and the present. That's what I was trying to bring up at that point and didn't get to say it. All right. Item number 2, under new business, I'm glad to see that Councilman Foster is talking and active and making that. That's a fast improvement. I'm glad to see that. But it still generates the question of what's going to be the process that are we going to be going through from now for the individual that's, if he was here for this one, what is going to be the process? I need to find out that type of action. And item number 3 is I'd like to wish everybody a happy Easter and enjoy it and have fun with it. And with that, I have one request of the Easter Bunny. Can that Easter Bunny please distribute the fertilizer equally over my yard? Thank you very much. And may everybody have a good evening, one and all.
Now, what was that other question that you asked? The second question.
On the process.
Yeah, the process of
Since
what?
it was the making of an appointment, since is Councilman Foster going to be on the phone the whole time? Is he not going to be able to attend meetings? Will he attend meetings, or what is the process? Because if he wouldn't attend this one, I was looking at the 12 council meetings of non-attendance and where that lot falls into under the Code of Ordinances.
I believe, and I'll let the clerk answer. I think it just resets. He was here. So, but Madam Clerk, are you able to answer that question, or Madam Attorney?
Mayor, I can answer. And you are correct that basically since he did attend this meeting, it did pretty much reset the clock. However, as far as the missing consecutive meetings, however, he still falls in the category of he cannot miss 6 within a 12-month period. But right now he is not there yet.
Okay, all right. So if he gets to that point, then we could bring this back up and then, have documentation from a physician.
Correct.
All right. So but this resets it.
Correct.
Okay. Does that answer your question, sir? All right. Outstanding. Anyone else wish to speak? Come on up, sir.
Hello, Dan Corcoran, 2124 Winbrook Drive. I'm not sure if I was listening well, but under new business item 2, we talked about a workshop, but I didn't hear anything about the subject and whether or not the public is going to be invited to that.
Republic Services.
Republic, okay.
Yes, sir.
Very
Republic.
good. Okay, thank you for the clarification.
Anyone else wish to speak? Seeing none, this meeting's adjourned.